Let me ask you something. Why do some guys who aren't rich, who don't look like models, who don't have fancy cars, why do they walk into a room and instantly have women's attention? And yet, other guys, who might even look better, who try harder, get ignored like they're invisible? The truth is, attraction isn't what you think it is. It's not about being perfect. It's not about money, or looks, or status. It's about something far simpler, and once you understand it, you'll realize that making a girl attracted to you is actually way easier than you've been led to believe. So if you've ever wondered why she doesn't notice you, or why the same types of guys seem to get all the love, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand the real reason, and you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Now that I've got your attention, let's dive into the biggest myth about attraction, the lie that has destroyed the confidence of millions of men around the world. Here it is. Most men believe that women are only attracted to guys who are tall, rich, or insanely good-looking. That's the story we've been fed since childhood. Think about it. In movies, who gets the girl? The millionaire, the rock star, the guy with the chiseled jawline. On social media, you see these influencers flashing cars, money, and designer clothes. And right beside them are women smiling, laughing, posing for pictures. Even in school, the so-called popular kid, the athlete, the guy with the best looks, he always seemed to be surrounded by attention. So what happens? Most men start building this belief in their minds. If I don't have money, if I don't look a certain way, if I'm not special, then women won't even notice me. And this belief crushes their spirit before they even try. They put themselves in the category of not good enough. But let me break this down for you. If women only dated men with perfect looks, with tons of money, or with celebrity status, then what? 90% of men on the planet would be single? But that's not the case, is it? Walk through any city, sit in a coffee shop, scroll through Instagram. You'll see it over and over again. Women happily dating or married to men who are not models, not millionaires, not celebrities. So clearly, something else is going on. And this is where the truth begins. Women don't fall for a bank account or a sports car. They fall for feelings. They fall for the man who makes them feel safe, excited, understood, and alive. They fall for energy. They fall for presence. They fall for you, if you know how to show up the right way. Here's the wild part. Women are far more tuned in to behavior than men are. They notice your body language. They notice how you walk into a room. They notice whether you look comfortable in your own skin or whether you're secretly begging for approval. They notice if you're calm and grounded, or if you're tense, anxious, and desperate for validation. Let me give you an example. Imagine two guys walk into the same party. The first guy is dressed well, he's handsome, but he's nervous. He keeps checking his phone, avoids eye contact, stands in the corner hoping someone notices him. The second guy, he's average looking, nothing flashy about him, but he walks in calm, shoulders back, relaxed smile on his face. He talks to people naturally. He doesn't try too hard. He listens, he jokes, he's present in the moment. Guess who the women are drawn to? 9 times out of 10, it's not the first guy. It's the second. That's because women don't want perfection, they want a feeling. They're drawn to the man who is comfortable with himself, the man who makes them feel emotions, excitement, curiosity, safety, joy. So let me hammer this home. The biggest myth about attraction is believing you need to be something you're not. Richer, taller, better looking, more famous, to be worthy of love. The truth? You already have what it takes. Attraction is not about what you own, it's about who you are. And the second you realize that, you stop chasing and start attracting. So the question isn't, do I have enough money? Do I look good enough? Am I tall enough? The real question is, am I showing up with the confidence, the presence, and the energy that naturally draws women in? Because once you master that, you'll start to see what I said at the beginning. Making a girl attracted to you is actually much easier than you think. Now that we've shattered the biggest myth about attraction, Let's get into the real foundation of what makes women drawn to you. And it all comes down to one word: confidence. Confidence is the king of attraction. You could have average looks, average income, average everything. But if you carry yourself with true confidence, you instantly separate yourself from 90% of men out there. But let me clear something up right now. Confidence doesn't mean walking into a room acting loud, bragging, or trying to dominate everyone. That's not confidence. That's insecurity in disguise. Real confidence is quiet. It's steady. It's the calm, grounded energy that says, I know who I am. I don't need to prove myself to anyone. Think about it. Have you ever been around someone who wasn't even talking much, but the way they stood, the way they carried themselves, made you pay attention? That's the power of confidence. It's not about what you say. It's about the energy you project without saying a word. Here's something most guys don't realize. Women are biologically wired to be attracted to confident men. Why? Because for thousands of years, confidence signaled strength, security, and leadership. A confident man was someone she could trust, someone who could protect her, someone who could provide stability. That wiring hasn't gone away. It's still there today, even in our modern world. And here's the good news. Confidence is not something you're born with. It's something you build. So, how do you actually show confidence? Let me break it down. First, eye contact. Most men avoid it. They look away, they glance at the floor, they stare at their phones. Confident men hold eye contact, steady, calm, without being creepy. It sends the message, I'm comfortable here. I'm comfortable with you. Second, body language. Stand tall, shoulders back, relaxed movements. Don't fidget, don't rush. When you take up space comfortably, you send the signal that you belong in any room you walk into. Third, your voice. Speak clearly and at a steady pace. Don't mumble, don't talk too fast, and don't rush to fill silences. Confident men are not afraid of pauses. They don't seek approval with every word. They know what they say has weight. Now, let me give you a real-life example. Imagine two men walk into the same coffee shop. The first man rushes in, shoulders slouched, eyes glued to his phone. He gets to the counter and mumbles his order, barely looking at the barista. He looks nervous, like he doesn't want to be noticed. The second man, he walks in slowly, with purpose. His head is up, he makes eye contact with people as he enters. When he orders, he speaks clearly, with a slight smile. He thanks the barista, then calmly finds his seat. Neither man said anything to a woman in that room. Neither man showed off money, looks, or status. And yet, guess who women noticed? The second man. Why? Because confidence is magnetic. It speaks louder than any words. Here's the part most men miss. Women don't need you to be perfect. They just need you to own yourself. If you're short, own it. If you're skinny, own it. If you're big, own it. If you're broke, own it. What kills attraction is not your flaws. It's your insecurity about them. Confidence is saying, this is who I am, and I'm good with it. And when you radiate that, women feel it instantly. So remember this, confidence is king. Without it, you'll always struggle, no matter how good you look or how much money you have. With it, you can be unstoppable, even if you don't check all the so-called boxes of what women want. And the best part? You don't have to fake confidence. You can build it. And the more you work on yourself, the more your natural confidence starts to shine. And once you have that, making a girl attracted to you doesn't just get easier, it becomes automatic. Now let's talk about something that most men completely overlook, but it's one of the biggest factors in attraction: body language and presence. See, you can say all the right words, you can have the smoothest lines in the world, but if your body language is weak, nervous, or insecure, women will pick up on it instantly. And once they do, the game is already over. Here's something you need to understand. Over 70% of communication is nonverbal. That means women are judging you more by your body language than by your actual words. And women are naturally more in tune with these signals than men are. They can sense it: your posture, your movements, your tone, all of it communicates what kind of man you are before you even open your mouth. So what does confident, attractive body language look like? Let me break it down. Posture. Stand tall, shoulders back, head up, not stiff like a robot, but relaxed and open. Imagine there's a string pulling you upward from the top of your head. The way you carry yourself tells a woman immediately whether you see yourself as a leader or as someone who hides in the background. Movement. Slow it down. Nervous guys fidget, tap their feet, play with their phones, or shuffle around. Confident guys move with control. They're not in a rush. Every gesture looks intentional, grounded, and calm. Eye contact. This one is huge. Most guys either avoid eye contact completely or they overdo it and come across as intense or creepy. The key is steady, calm eye contact with a soft, natural expression. It communicates, I see you, I'm comfortable, and I'm present with you. Hands and arms. Don't cross your arms like you're blocking the world off. Don't shove your hands in your pockets like you're hiding. Keep them relaxed, open, and visible. Open body language sends the message. I'm approachable, I'm confident, and I'm not afraid. Now let's talk about presence. Because presence is like the invisible force that women feel when you enter a room. Presence is when people notice you, even when you're not trying to be noticed. Presence comes from being fully in the moment. It's when you're not stuck in your head, worrying about what people think. It's when you're engaged with your surroundings, when you listen deeply, when you give your attention fully to the person in front of you. Think about the difference between a man who walks into a room glued to his phone versus a man who walks in aware of his surroundings, making eye contact, smiling, acknowledging people. The second man radiates presence. He feels alive. He feels grounded. And that is incredibly attractive. Here's a quick story to illustrate this. A few years ago, I was at a lounge with some friends. A guy walked in, nothing special about his looks, average build, dressed in simple clothes. But here's what caught my attention. He walked in with his head up, scanning the room calmly, like he belonged there. He wasn't loud, he wasn't flashy, but people noticed him. When he started talking to a group nearby, the women leaned in. They laughed, they smiled, they were engaged. Meanwhile, another guy at the same lounge, better dressed, obviously had money, sat slouched in the corner, scrolling through his phone. Guess what? Nobody noticed him. Same environment, different energy. And energy always wins. So here's the lesson. Your body language and presence speak louder than words. A woman doesn't just listen to what you say, she feels who you are. And if your posture, your eye contact, your movement, and your energy all communicate confidence, calmness, and strength, you don't need cheesy pickup lines. You don't need to beg for attention. You'll naturally attract it. From now on, start paying attention to your body language. Walk into rooms with intention. Stand tall, move with calm control, make steady eye contact, and stay present. You'll be shocked at how quickly women respond when your energy does the talking for you. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful, yet most misunderstood, attraction triggers out there: humor. Listen, if you can make a woman laugh, you are already halfway into her heart. Why? Because laughter isn't just about jokes, it's about emotions. And remember what I told you earlier? Women are attracted to the way you make them feel. When you make a woman laugh, you're doing 3 things at once. You're showing her you're confident enough not to take yourself too seriously. You're making her feel comfortable and relaxed around you. You're sparking positive emotions that she automatically associates with you. That's powerful. Because here's the truth. Women don't sit around with their friends saying, I just love guys who talk about their bank account. They say, oh my God, he's so funny. He just makes me laugh every time I'm with him. But let's clear something up. There's a right way and a wrong way to use humor. The wrong way? Trying too hard. Being the clown. Making jokes every 5 seconds because you're desperate for her attention. Or worse, using cruel or offensive humor that puts people down. That doesn't make you attractive, it makes you look insecure. The right way? Playful teasing, witty observations, and being comfortable enough to laugh at yourself sometimes. Humor should feel effortless, not forced. Here's a real-life example. Imagine you're on a date, and the waiter accidentally spills some water on the table. The insecure guy gets annoyed, makes a scene, complains about the service. The confident, funny guy? He smiles, looks at her, and says, "Well, I was planning on making a splash tonight, but I guess the waiter beat me to it." Boom. She laughs, the tension is gone, and she feels even more comfortable with him. That's the difference. Humor takes awkward moments and turns them into opportunities for connection. Here's another one, playful teasing. Let's say she shows up 5 minutes late. Instead of being serious about it, you smile and say, "Wow, I was starting to think you stood me up. Should I start charging late fees?" Said with a playful tone, it makes her laugh and creates a fun vibe. Humor also shows that you're not fragile. You can handle situations without panicking. And women love that. A man who can stay relaxed and playful no matter what's happening. That's incredibly attractive. Now, here's the big secret. You don't have to be a stand-up comedian to use humor. You don't need perfect timing or a million jokes memorized. All you need to do is stop taking yourself and the situation too seriously. Life is already stressful enough. When you become the guy who brings lightness and laughter into her world, she'll crave being around you. Think about it. How many times have you seen a woman say, "He's not even my type, but I just love being around him. He makes me laugh so much." That's the power of humor. It bypasses looks, money, and status. It goes straight to her emotions. So here's your challenge. Stop trying to impress women with things you think they care about. Instead, focus on making them feel good around you. Be playful. Be lighthearted. Don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. Because when you become the man who can bring joy into her life, you'll notice something amazing. Suddenly, attraction doesn't feel forced. It feels natural, and it all starts with humor. Now, let's go deeper. Because while confidence and humor can spark attraction, what keeps a woman drawn to you? What makes her want you and not just some random guy? Is something most men never even think about: emotional intelligence and listening. Here's the truth. Women aren't only attracted to how you look or how you act. They're attracted to how you make them feel. And one of the fastest ways to make a woman feel a deep connection with you is by showing her that you actually understand her. Not just her words, but her emotions. See, most men listen to reply. They wait for their turn to talk. Or worse, they tune out completely, nodding along while thinking about what they're going to say next. Women pick up on this instantly. And when she feels like you're not really listening, she disconnects. But when you listen with presence, when you lean in, look her in the eyes, nod, and respond thoughtfully, you're doing something powerful. You're telling her, without words, "I see you, I hear you, I understand you." And that is rare. That's why it's attractive. Let me give you an example. Imagine she's telling you about a rough day at work. Most guys would jump in with advice. "Well, maybe you should just talk to your boss. Or maybe you should just quit. Or maybe you're overthinking it." But that's not what she's looking for. She doesn't want a solution. She wants to be heard. The confident, emotionally intelligent man would listen, nod, and say something like, "Wow, that sounds frustrating. I get why you'd feel that way." Simple. No fixing, no interrupting. Just understanding. And in that moment, she feels safe with you. She feels connected. She feels like you get her. That's emotional intelligence. Being able to read her emotions, empathize, and respond in a way that makes her feel understood. Now, don't get me wrong. Emotional intelligence isn't about being overly soft or turning into her therapist. It's about balance. It's about being masculine, but also tuned in. Strong, but also compassionate. A leader, but also a listener. Here's the mistake a lot of men make. They think being a good listener means sitting there silently, nodding at everything she says, and agreeing with everything. That's not it. Real listening is active. It's asking good questions. It's remembering small details she told you before. It's noticing when her tone changes and saying, "You seem a little off today," Everything okay? And let me tell you, when you do that, she feels something powerful. She feels chosen. She feels special. Because in a world where most men are too distracted, too self-centered, or too busy trying to impress, you're actually paying attention. And that sets you apart instantly. Think about it. When was the last time someone really listened to you? Not to reply, not to give advice, but just to understand you? Didn't it feel good? Didn't it make you trust that person more? That's exactly how women feel when you do it for them. So here's the takeaway. Emotional intelligence and listening are not nice guy qualities. They're alpha qualities. Because it takes strength and confidence to slow down, tune in, and really connect. Any insecure man can talk about himself nonstop. But it takes a secure, confident man to say, "Tell me more. I want to understand you." And when you master this, you'll notice something incredible. Women will open up to you faster. They'll feel closer to you. And that attraction? It won't just be surface level, it'll be deep. The kind of attraction that lasts. Now, let's talk about something that is absolutely magnetic to women. Something that doesn't come from money, looks, or luck. It's called masculine energy and leadership. Every woman, whether she admits it out loud or not, craves a man who can lead. Not a dictator, not a control freak, but a man who knows where he's going in life, and who has the strength and presence to guide her with him. Why is this so attractive? Because at the core of feminine energy is a desire to feel safe, cherished, and free to express. And at the core of masculine energy is direction, decisiveness, and the ability to provide that safety. When those two energies come together, attraction feels natural. It's like puzzle pieces locking into place. Now, let me be clear. Leadership doesn't mean bossing her around. It doesn't mean telling her what she can or can't do. That's not leadership, that's insecurity. Real leadership is about being decisive, confident, and grounded in who you are. For example, imagine you're out on a date and she asks, "So, where do you want to eat?" The average guy shrugs and says, "I don't know, whatever you want." Sounds polite, right? But here's the problem. It puts pressure on her. It makes her feel like she has to make the decision, carry the weight. Now, the confident, masculine man, he smiles and says, "I know a great little Italian spot a few blocks from here. You're going to love it. Let's go." See the difference? One man is passive, the other is decisive. One feels uncertain, the other feels like he knows what he's doing. And women are instantly drawn to that certainty. Here's another example. Life goals. A man without direction, without ambition, without purpose, that energy feels weak. It makes her wonder, if he can't even lead himself, how could he ever lead me? But when you're a man with vision, with goals, with purpose, you don't even need to brag about it. She feels it in the way you carry yourself, the way you talk about your future, the way you move through the world. Leadership is also about emotional strength. When challenges come up, because life isn't perfect, women don't want a man who crumbles under pressure. They want a man who stays calm, who handles the situation, who reassures her with his presence. "Don't worry, we've got this." That calm, grounded energy, that's pure masculine leadership. Now, here's what's really interesting. Masculine energy isn't just attractive, it's contagious. When you step into your role as a leader, when you bring strength and direction, it gives her permission to relax into her feminine energy. She doesn't have to overthink. She doesn't have to control. She doesn't have to stress, because she trusts you. And trust, my friend, is one of the sexiest things in the world. But here's the catch. You can't fake this. You can't pretend to be a leader if inside you're lost. You have to actually do the work. You have to build your purpose, strengthen your confidence, and take responsibility for your life. Leadership starts with leading yourself. And once you do, you'll notice the shift. You'll notice women responding differently to you. They'll look at you with admiration. They'll lean into your presence. They'll want to be around you, not because you're forcing anything, but because your masculine energy naturally attracts them. So here's the challenge. Stop waiting for someone else to take charge of your life. Stop being passive. Step into your role as a leader, because when you do, you'll find that making a girl attracted to you isn't hard at all. It's actually effortless. Because women are naturally drawn to a man who knows where he's going, and who has the strength to lead the way. So, let's bring it all together. Making a girl attracted to you isn't about money, looks, or status. It's about the energy you bring. It's about confidence, humor, emotional intelligence, leadership, authenticity, and the way you live your life. Attraction isn't something you force. It's something you create by being the best version of yourself. And here's the most important thing. It's actually pretty easy. Because the moment you stop pretending, stop chasing, and stop trying to be someone you're not, you unlock the real secret. You realize that women aren't attracted to perfection. They're attracted to truth. Your truth. So the next time you walk into a room, don't ask yourself, how can I make her like me? Ask yourself, how can I show up as the best, most authentic version of me? Because when you do that, attraction doesn't feel like a game. It feels natural. It feels inevitable. And if you got value from this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for more, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it. Remember, attraction is easy when you stop chasing and start becoming. Now go out there and live it.